Solving systems by substitution. This is page 4, number 13. The first question to ask yourself is X or Y already solved for? This is our system. In these equations, do we have X equals something or Y equals something already? Well, by looking at this, no, I don't. X and Y are on the same side in both of the equations, and so X or Y is not already solved for. And so the second question I should ask myself is, what variable has a coefficient of 1? Which variable has a coefficient of 1? Remember, the coefficient is the number in front of the letter. And so here the coefficient's 3, here the coefficient's 7, here the coefficient's 2, and here I don't see the coefficient, and so it is 1. So this variable, y, in that equation has a coefficient of 1. And so I want to solve for that one. That way, when I solve for that variable, I will end up with y equals something, which is what I want. I want either x equals something or y equals something. This has a coefficient of 1, and so I'm going to solve this equation. I call it equation number 1. Let's solve that equation for y. So I'm just going to copy it down here, copy it down here. The first equation is 3x plus y equals 3. I see that y is on the left side, so I'm going to move the 3x to the other side by subtraction. Okay, draw your equal sign across the problem. These 3x's cancel, and so I have y equals 3 minus 3x. Okay, when solving by substitution, this equation does not have to be in slope-intercept form like we had to have it for solving by graphing. Okay, so our x term does not have to come first because we're not putting this in slope-intercept form. Okay, so now we have y equals something, right? Y equals this. Y equals 3 minus 3x. And so what we're going to do is we're going to sub that expression, 3 minus 3x, sub that expression into the other equation, which this is equation 1. And so we're going to sub this value for y into the second equation, into equation number 2, so that we have an equation in only one variable. Because right now the second equation is in 2 variables. We have an x and a y. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to sub this expression, 3 minus 3x, into the second equation. So the second equation, I'm just going to copy it down. The second equation is 7x plus 2y equal 1. And what we're going to do here is sub this expression, hence the name substitution. We're saying that y is equal to this, or y is the same thing as this. And so what we can do is sub this 3 minus 3x into this equation for y. Now every time we substitute, we have to put parentheses around what we're substituting into the equation. Okay? So let's substitute this in for a y. So I'm going to have 7x plus 2y, or 2 times y. That's what 2y means, 2 times y. And what is y? Y is the same thing as this. And so 2 times 3 minus 3x, 3 minus 3x, close the parenthesis. Okay, so this value right here inside the parentheses, 3 minus 3x, that is y. I just substitute 3 minus 3x in for y. Okay, and this is all equal to 1. Okay, so there's my equation now. Do you see my equation? My equation has only one variable now. There's only an x in the equation. And we can solve an equation with one variable. We've been doing it now for several weeks. Okay, so I see parentheses. Let's eliminate them by the distributive property. So I have 7x. Then remember here I'm going to distribute the 2. 2 times 3 is positive 6. And 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Bring the equal sign down. That's equal to 1. Step 2, after I eliminate the parentheses, I combine like terms. I'm going to put a box around 7x and minus 6x because those are like terms. And I know 7x minus 6x is x, or 1x. I still have plus 6, and this is equal to 1. Okay. Next, I need to move the numbers over. I have variable on one side, get the numbers on the other by subtracting 6, so those 6's will cancel. And x equals 1 minus 6, which is negative 5. Okay, so I have solved for x. But remember, my solution to the system will be an x value and a y value. And so if I have x, how am I going to get y? If I have x, how will I get y? Well, wouldn't it be nice if we knew what y is, if we knew some expression that y was equal to? Well, it just so happens we have that right here, right? Y is equal to 3 minus 3x. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take this value we found for x, which is -5, we're going to take this and plug it into that expression right there so that we can solve for y. Okay? So I have this expression, y equals 3 minus 3x, y equals 3 minus 3x, and I'm going to plug this x value into this expression. So y equals 3 minus 3x, or 3 times x. And what is x? X is this. X is -5. Okay? So I have y equals 3. Now what is this? This is -3. This is -3 next to a -5 in parentheses, which of course is multiplication. So I have -3 times -5. We know negative times negative is a positive, so this is 3 plus 3 times 5, which is 15. 3 plus 15. And so y is equal to 3 plus 15, and we know 3 plus 15 is 18. Okay? So now I write my solution as an ordered pair. I have an x value and a y value in the ordered pair. Okay? So what is my x value? We found that x is -5, so I put that first. -5, that's my x value, then a comma. Okay, what's my y value? My y value is this, 18, so I put that second. And of course, ordered pairs are always put in parentheses. This right here is the solution, -5, 18.